Hello, class, receiving students and teachers.
Hello, Miss Kodwa.
Thank you. Take your seats. All right, receiving students and the model class. In our last lesson, we looked at the freshwater community. We went out for an excursion, meaning we went to observe the living things that live in the pond. We used the PNG-EI pond, and there was a table where you had to complete listing those living things, counting them, writing down how many they are in there. And we also noticed that the pond community is made up of living things and non-living things. There were two questions in which we need to answer. We will go through those two questions and get answers from you. For the receiving students, you can give your answers to your teacher. We will go through the first question. Class, let's all read the first question together.
Why do you think those living in the freshwater?
Okay, let's read better than this again.
Why do you think these living things live in the freshwater community?
All right, good. So, what is our answer? Of all those living things that you have observed at the pond, why do you think they like to live in that community or in that habitat? Momoru?
Because they are not used to salt water.
Right, good answer. They cannot live in salt water because they are not used to salt water. What do you mean? How are they not used to the salt water? And why do they want to be there? Or why do they feel maybe they like, let's say, the water lily? Why is it that it likes to grow on the pond or swamps? Thank you. Your answer is good, but you need to explain further. Anyone wants to help her to explain further? Receiving students, you can tell your teacher. Cullen, thank you.
Because it is comfortable for them to live there and it is easy to find food.
Very good, okay. They are able to feed themselves because that particular community can provide for their needs, example, food, water, and so forth. Now, so these living things adapt themselves to that community or that habitat. Right. Receiving students, I hope you have good answers given to your teacher. Let's go on to the second one. Explain why some fish and plants from still water, such as the pond, cannot live in fast-flowing streams. Rivers that flow so fast, some living things that live in the pond cannot live there. Why? Why is it? All right, anyone with an answer for us? Thank you. Stand up and tell us.
Because they are not strong enough to survive in the first flowing stream.
All right, good. That's one reason. Not strong. Maybe the water is too fast where you cannot find a tadpole like what you saw in the pond or a small fish in the fast-flowing river. That's one reason. The flow of the water is too fast. Next reason, can we say food? All right. Some food, different animals feed on different kinds of food. So some fish, they don't feed on some things that are found in the fast-flowing river, and they see that they live in the pond or in the swamp where the water is still that can provide for their needs. Right. Good. Now, one question to discuss in your groups is also a recap question. Why do water lilies provide for other living things that live in the ponds or swamp? If you are from Western Province, and you come from a place called Balimo, you will find that you have a lot of swamps there and water lilies. People also eat water lilies, is that true? The water lily seeds. Right, so why is it that they grow on swamps and ponds? Looks like the model class we are unable to give answers. Receiving students, if you can tell your teacher. Or some of us in here can think. Win? Can we say, I'll start you off, can we say shelter? Can we say shelter? Yes, shelter, it provides shelter for tadpoles and small fish. Can we say food? Yes. Of course, food. Okay. It provides food. What else? Very good. Let's hear from you. Tell us, tell the class. I had somebody in the class, this group, giving out the answer.
Oxygen.
Very good. It provides oxygen for other living things in the pond or in the swamp. And last of all, air also comes under oxygen. All right. So guess. Yes, let's hear from you. Thank you.
It provides beautification.
Very good. It beautifies the pond. Okay. Cullen.
Protect them.
Very good, protects them. Maybe in terms of, I can hear someone saying sunlight. Very good. It covers the pond so that it stops the strong rays of light, sunlight, that will affect or that might kill other living things in the pond. So the water lily has very big leaves where it protects other living things from sunlight. All right. And last of all, when you move around and you observe other ponds, you will see this green stuff growing on the surface of the water that covers the water and spoils the pond. Okay, that green stuff is called, what is it called? Algae. Okay, so water lily also stops the growth of algae and from spoiling the pond or the swamp, right? So that's the whole reason why you see people like to plant water lilies, okay? All right, All right, so those are the basic things that the water lily provide for other living things in the pond. Okay, receiving stitches, we are on the same strand, living things, substrand, ecology, relationships and interactions, outcome 7.2.2. What is our lesson topic for today, class? Let's read together. Have you heard of this word, savannah? Yes. All right. It's not new to you. We will now go straight to today's activity. I need your cooperation. Everybody in the group needs to cooperate and work, because at the end of the lesson, I am going to collect your charts. This is what you will be doing in your groups. You will be given questions to work on, and I'd like the runners or the group leader to choose someone to come up and get markers and charts from me. Quickly. This one. They ready. Sorry. All right, I will not start until everyone is quiet and ready to copy their questions down. All right, receiving students, I hope you are familiar with the term savannah. So as the model class, your teacher will assist you when it comes to activities. All right, let's see activity one. Not activity one, sorry, question that you will be working on in your groups. All right, I will not start unless everyone is quiet. All right, groups 1, if you know you're from group 1, 4 and 7, that is your question to work on. You will brainstorm on the savannah community. We've been doing some brainstorming in our previous lessons. By now you should know how to brainstorm. You remember, and you can draw a concept web to brainstorm on savannah community. Any questions on that? I'll give you 1 minute to copy that question down for groups number 1, 4, and 7. The rest of the groups, you wait for your questions to come. Okay, wait. After question. Just when I finish with others. All right, let's see group number 1, 4, and 7. Are you finished with this question? All right, let's move on to question the other groups. All right, groups number 2, 5, and 8 for the model class. 2, 5, and 8, you have 2 questions to do. Less noise. You should be thinking about your questions, discussing quietly for groups, the first groups. Remember, your charts will be collected, therefore I need all your cooperation and quality work. All right. Let's see groups 2, 5, and 8. Are you finished? Did you copy all those questions down? All right, let's move on to the other three groups. Groups 3, 6, and 9, you are going to draw a food web found in the Savannah community. Okay. Are we copying our questions? Use your head when you are talking. Yeah? You can talk because you are not using your head. Sorry? Food web. B. Sorry. Thank you for that correction. It's W-E-B. All right, let's go back to question 1 for groups 1, 4, and 7. Groups 1, 4, and 7, please check. You are to brainstorm on the Savannah community, and I have told you to use a concept web to do that. Any questions? These three groups? No, should be straightforward. Let's go to group 5, 2, and 8. You have to list some living things found in the savannah and draw a food chain. And the last three groups, 6, 3, and 9, you are to draw a food web found in the savannah community. Right, I am going to stop you very shortly, so I'd like you to think fast, work fast, and contribute good ideas in your group. What's your question? You are going to use this chat to answer your question. List some living things, and then second one is you are to draw a. What group are you? What number? 2. So your 2 is list some living things found in the savannah community, and then you draw a food chain. From those living things, you can draw a food chain. Web. So food web in your previous lesson with Mr. Kanao. I made a mistake. I corrected it, did you see? So no need to argue, please. Arguing is not good. You just know once it's explained, kick off. Okay. So food web in the savannah community. That picture will give you a clue. Start with plants, then you come to some animals found there. And maybe you list them down and then you start drawing arrows. You know, chain, web. Good. Okay, what are we working on? Listing. Okay, you list. No need to list plenty. Maybe the ones that you know, you just list them down, and from that list you can make up a food chain. You can draw it or you can write. Just write. You know how a food chain looks like? In words. Okay, good. You are brainstorming. Huh? Good. What are we on? Food web. Yes. So You think of some animals that live in the savanna community, both plants and animals, and then from there you join them as chain, and then from those chains you make a web. Okay, good. Interesting. Let's see. Good. What's that? What's the mistake? Are you sure it lives in the savannah? Yes. Okay, good. And what after that? What are you going to do? You are going to draw a food chain, not web. Okay, where are we on? What are we doing? A web. Any more? Frogs here. Insects, yes. Ants. Yeah. From the you can make chain first, and then connect those chains to make a web. Yes. You were trying to ask me a question. Was that about your matter? Or? Okay. Just move your chair. Why are we all the boys here? Tomorrow don't sit like this. Okay, that's good. You just want to write the definition, or you can write Savannah community here, and then any ideas that flow. You need a new chat? Oh, it's okay. It's all right. Okay, that's okay. This is still all right. Okay, then you can draw it out from here. You can go like this again, like this, like this. This is a chain. Can be both plants and animals. Good. Keep going. Sorry, paper. What paper? No, that's brainstorm. That's not your activity. You are web. You can use this one as just scrap paper and you can split it. Do you think insects to stay there? Okay. Mosby, you think about your backyard, for where you look, from where your house is, and you look over. Backyards, beyond your backyards. That's it, that's it. That's a good one. A simple one, but it looks like a simple one. Okay? Now we're going, what's going on? Yes. You think about yourself making garden in Mosby, your relatives. Where our backyard and beyond, you look beyond, you see our mountains that are. So you think frogs live there too? Okay, frogs can live everywhere. Yeah, so can be there, maybe in the holes, because it's too dry where they get. Maybe later on there's some little puddles and all this stuff where they go to reproduce. All right, I will stop you very shortly, so please try to work carefully and a bit faster. Display yours. Okay, you don't have to think very hard. You should just try to make it a bit simple and easy. For those groups that are working on food chains and food webs, do not think so hard. Maybe you can do a simple one that will do. You can display it there. No, that's okay. 4, that's all right. Only 4. Right, for those groups that are finished, you can come up and display your charts. That's enough, that should do. Come on, get it down. That's simple one, easy one. Oh, you can do that one there. She's got a good one too. All right, any groups finished? Fast move, yeah, fast.
one from living things and grow food chain, and one from food web.
Keep it. Keep it for your group for tomorrow. Okay, let's see. I'd like the groups that have completed theirs on food chain and web to come up and display their charts. All right, any on the food web? The groups that were working on the food web, that's group 3, 6, and 9. Quickly. All right, we are going to stop now. I hope you are almost to the end for the receiving students. Good if you have finished. Let's quickly go through what we have done. Let's have Clement's group to explain to us how they came up with their concept web, brainstorming on Savannah community. Brainstorm on the Savannah community. This is what these two groups have come up with. You can see that most of their answers are similar, like kunai grass, tree, mountains, and so forth. Now, from these two concept maps, how can you, or what is the meaning for Savannah? What is the meaning of this word Savannah? Just by looking at what they have wrote, these ideas that relate to the main concept here, or main topic. What can we say about the definition of Savannah? All right. Those groups not finished, please, I need your attention. Let's not be smart and laughing away and not concentrating. I am asking you from this concept web with all the ideas going to the main idea, what is the definition for Savannah? You see trees, grass, kunai, stones, animals. What can we say about Savannah? Policia?
It's a type of community that has few grasses and trees.
All right, good answer. Most of you should have that. Now let's have a look at the other groups. Jubilee's group, they have their living things listed down, and they were told to draw a food chain, and this is what they've got. And the other group, we have that group there, they came up with a food web. The food web that is found in the Savannah community. right? I guess that group needs to complete that food web. Maybe after the lesson you can complete that food web. So as the other groups that have done their work and not finished, you should finish them now. All right, let's look at this question here. But before that, this picture looks familiar to students living in Mosby. This picture is taken along the Magi Highway, all right? And that is an example of a savanna vegetation. All right, one question for discussion. Why cannot many big trees and different kinds of plants grow in savanna community? Isaac, you and your nice teeth showing there. Why cannot big trees and different kinds of plants grow in the savanna community? Okay, you'll think about that. In our next lesson, we will go through that question. Let's have a look at our summary for today's lesson. And a savanna habitat occurs in areas which have long, dry seasons. Alright, so while you are writing in Port Moresby, you look beyond your backyards and up on the hills, everywhere you will see examples of savanna vegetation, meaning the area has been once upon a time a forest, but continuous burning and so forth, and that affected the growth of plants and living things living in that area. So you see a lot of scattered trees, grass, and grass. All right, 2 points for our lesson for today on that topic. Now let's guess what would be the key phrase for today's community. Okay. Our next lesson will be on grassland community. Please go back and try to find out what is a grassland community. You will have data sheets, pictures of grassland community. Teachers provided. Key phrase for today's lesson is savanna community. With that, thank you receiving students and the model class for your participation.